brothers and sisters of soy, children of the greasy fringe. It is I, brother clueless, stood before thee with a message. First it was the ethnic minorities, then it was the liberal cucktards, and now it is the milkshake IPA drinking wussies. We must band together, we must fight, but we must also love and educate. I was in a drunken stupor with the Lord himself, Greasy Fringe. I turned my back for 1 second, and a piece of paper flew down, landed before my naked body. We have found salvation. We have found our tool to educate and eradicate the scourge that is different beer styles that we do not agree with. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I give you Yellow Belly. Yeah. Well, do you think legal will pass that? Yeah, because it is a bit of a touchy subject. Yeah. I mean, pre-strokes. Yeah, we've been in trouble for that before, I think. Yeah. I would say it's touching cloth, but I don't want to make any more jokes because I don't want the channel terminated. But yeah, I'll go through with the review anyway, and if you could just let me know, yeah, that'll be fine. Alright, thanks for that. Alright, ta-ta now. Hi guys, and welcome to review 650. And today we're looking at a bit of a special beer for me personally. So today we're looking at a beer that has just escaped me every time I've wanted to get it. And it's at that point now where they've brewed it a few times. It's become really quite popular to the point where it's a bit more available here in the UK. But for the longest time, I was struggling to get myself a bottle of this. And picked this one up from the Northern Beer Temple in Wigan. It was a very pleasant surprise to see this on the shelf. And the beer, of course, as you can tell by the title, and the unfunny introduction, and then the fancy DSLR close-ups and all that jazz. Yeah, but 650 videos. That's absolutely insane. I used to do these every 100, but I'm desperate for the subscribers. I'm desperate for the views, and I need a lot more people in my social circle. So for every 50th review, we're going to do a milestone. Happy days. And another reason why I'm doing this now is because I have had this for a few weeks, and I know it's an Imperial Stout with adjuncts. But I was discussing it with a few people, and beers like this actually don't really stand the test of time when you age them. And I'm very impatient anyway, so I thought I've actually got, at this point, up to review 640 uploaded. Get this done, get it recorded. The secret behind the scenes life of a YouTuber there, ladies and gentlemen. We have got the wonderful Omnipollo, which of course is brewed by the wonderful folks over at Omnipollo. Did I already mention Omnipollo?
Did I actually call the beer Omnipollo? I can't remember. Let's try that again.
So we're going to be looking at the wonderful Yellow Belly from the even more wonderful folks over at Omnipollo, brewed in collaboration with Buxton, who are another brewery who I'm a big fan of. And I think this was actually brewed in Buxton. So yeah, it's an Imperial Stout brewed with aromas of peanut and biscuits. Clocking in at 11% ABV. We've got the absolutely wonderful artwork from Karl Grandin once again. And of course, this beer has sparked a bit of controversy over the years with people who just don't get what the beer is fundamentally about. Let's leave that fundamentalist sort of term out of this review as much as possible. But yeah, as you can clearly see, it's a beer that has a paper wrap, you know, like a white sheet, with 2 holes cut out for eyes. And of course, it's a Ku Klux Klan sort of garb, I think you'd say, with Yellow Belly written there in beautiful, I think the typography is called Cairo, and used a lot in Italian cinema from the 70s and 80s. It's really sad that I know that, and
No wonder I'm single.
but yeah, I think this is an absolutely beautiful piece of beer artwork, and I've already got on my terrible display shelf the Rocky Road, which was another collaboration between Omnipollo and Buxton. And I think what Karl Grandin is doing, along with Hennick and the beers within the bottles, is just wonderful. And you know, they're hype beast beers, pretty much. Using a term for the kids there. And if you are under the age of 18 or 21, depending where the core demographic is and drinking age, you shouldn't be watching this. So fuck off. But of course, when people see artwork like that and the beer's called Yellow Belly, primarily the American audience, who don't seem to really like the artwork from Omnipollo anyway, they sort of don't really read into it too much without actually reading into it, because it's actually a statement against racism, radicalisation and fundamentalist ideologies. And you will discover that when you actually open up the paper itself, which...
I want to do this as eloquently as possible because I want to save this artwork, because I think it's absolutely fantastic. So hopefully I don't rip it. But yeah, once you actually do get the beer out of the label,
you've got a lovely little piece of information explaining it. So I'll quickly read you what it says. So, Yellow Belly, a person who is without courage, fortitude or nerve, a coward, like myself. To us, one of the most cowardly deeds is to act anonymously, hiding behind a group, a signifying trait of institutionalised racism. This beer is brewed to celebrate all things new, open-minded and progressive. A peanut butter biscuit stout with no biscuits, butter or nuts. Taste, enjoy and don't be prejudiced. Hennick, Fentier, Karl Grandin, Dennis Johnston, Jake Alsnan, Jeff Quinn and Colin Strong. So yeah, fantastic stuff. So best before date is the 11th of August 2021. It's currently coming up towards the end of April as I'm recording this video, and like I said, I have had this for a few weeks now. Not too sure when this specific batch was brewed, but it's definitely the 2018 batch. And yeah, I do like that, so hopefully I can preserve that, even though it's just a bit of typography on the label. But yeah, let's get this beer opened and see what we get, because like I said, I've been wanting to try this beer for such a long time. So I know people might say,
well, it's not as good as the first time, or it's not as good as batch 2 or whatever, and Omnipollo have released so many other...
This is quite a big thing for me, and now I finally can, thanks to one of the best bottle shops that I've been to, Northern Beer Temple in Wigan. I think I paid about, I can't remember what I paid for it, but I was very happy with the price. And yeah, and when I went back there a few weeks later, there was another bottle on the shelf, so it's becoming a little bit more available for people who want to drink it, which is, you can never have too much of a good thing. Well, you kind of can, but not in this circumstance. But anyway, using my Beer Moth snifter, that's probably my favourite glass that I own. So without any further ado, let's get this beer poured and see what we get. And that is pouring really, really nicely. It's not a really thick pour, but it's still got that oiliness there. Nice amounts of carbonation. Of course, the lighting on the video isn't optimal, so it's probably going to be a bit grainy. It's probably going to look shit in 720p, because fuck uploading in 1080. It takes me long enough to upload videos normally. But yeah, a lovely dark beer. To me, that is pretty much jet black in this light, but it's again got that sort of like dark oaky tinge to it. And the beer poured with, actually I'm surprised that it has a head. It's got a sort of like a dark tan looking head, and yeah, it looks like a black coffee. It's what we come to expect with these sorts of beers, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So without any further ado, let's give it a sniff. That's nice. So it's got that like confectionery, like Reese's Pieces, Hershey's chocolate sort of smell to it. Big hits of vanilla in there as well. Slightly sweet nuttiness in there also. What's this described as? Let me see. This actually tells you on the back of the label. Peanuts and biscuit. Yeah, it's peanuts. Peanut butter. Reese's Pieces buttercups, those sort of things. It's got that like American like chocolate sort of aroma. It is synthetic, but you know, you kind of want that. It's one of those ones where it's like a chocolate bar, but then you get lovely roasty malt character in there. Very subtle, almost hot chocolate. A little bit of cocoa bitterness. Caramel, burnt sugar, munchies. It's like a tube of munchies, or Rolos is caramel. It's biscuity. But it is really nice and sweet. It's like cake batter, brownies, fudge. You know, you name it. It smells like that. It smells like an absolute treat. So without any further ado, let's give it a taste. Cheers, guys, and thank you for sticking with me when I do these terrible, terrible reviews. Cheers. I've got itch on the back. Very fucking dignified, Peter. So anyway, let's give it a taste. Cheers. Well, first of all, that's smooth as silk. It's not the biggest body, and you know, fucking Paul from Pearbury News will probably say,
"Oh, it's a little bit thin."
You know, because it has to come out like in 30 seconds as opposed to a quick pour. It's got to just come out as a gloop for Paul to appreciate it. But yeah, it's what you expect. It's like American candy bar. Cheap chocolate, but in a good way. All of those like Reese's Pieces buttercups, are they called buttercups? I can never remember what they're called. Hershey's chocolate, like the syrup version you get of it. Munchies, Rolos, it's got like a bit of like a Twix character as well. It's like you've melted it. You've melted all of those things and put it in a beer. And you can categorise this as masked to fuck, no pun intended. Yeah, it's so gentle. It really is. The only way you'd suspect that it's 11% is sort of like this bitterness and warmth on the back end. It's so smooth. There's no harshness. Does leave your lips very sticky. This is quite sweet, actually. I was not expecting this to be as sweet as it is. Not in that like you've just got a spoonful of sugar and put it in your mouth, but like sweetness within chocolate, like a milk chocolate. But then again, you've got a little bit of a dark chocolate. You know, as a fat person, I appreciate this beer, and I think that could be the best endorsement that this beer could have. So Henrik, Karl, if you're watching this, you can happily send me these beers and I will review them. I'll be a spokesman, because every Imperial Stout or Imperial Porter that I've had from Omnipollo has just been so decadent, so luxurious. But I'm loving this. I really am. I don't want it to stop, but it's drinking so damn easily. This was totally worth the wait, because I'm fucking loving it. I don't care what people say. But yeah, it's a shame that people will not drink this because of the way the beer is packaged. and you're missing out. You really, really are. I do think that the whole pastry stout sort of thing has come a long way since this beer, but this still stands the test time with some of the ones that I've had. And actually, I can't really say that because I've really yet to engorge myself in these big, like, juicy, adjunct riddled, like, fat kid, wet dream alcoholic beverages. I think it's absolutely wonderful, and it's one of the best beers of its kind that I've had for a good while. So, surprise, surprise, it's a 10 out of 10, and I've nearly finished it already. That is no way an 11% ABV beer. I think those sweet adjuncts, or whatever they've used in there, mask that alcohol to an almost dangerous level. So it's like, is it really a good thing, or is it actually a bad thing? But I know, and I'm aware that it's 11% ABV beer, but it's like with the stuff that they put in, stuff like Coca-Cola and McDonald's, all these additives, that even though if you were to taste it without that chemical sort of brain thingy, technical term, you taste it like, oh, what is this? But because it appeals to you on like a chemical molecular level, you're like, give me more, feed me more, see more, feed me more. What is that a reference to? It does what it says on the label, and it delivers by the bucket load. It's my feel like Ben and Jerry's ice cream as well. There's just so much going on in this beer, and it's absolutely wonderful. So if you've tried it or any of the previous versions of it, then let me know your thoughts and opinions. Check out Omnipollo, of course. I've got a nice little playlist brewing.
See what I did there.
Check out Northern Beer Temple. Great range of beers, great price. I need to go there again soon. Of course, I think all of my friends have reviewed this beer, so their reviews will be included down below. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. I think this has been one of the longest videos that I've recorded, so it's going to take a lot of editing, so it's not taking all day to upload. But you guys are worth it. Thank you for sticking with me for 650 beer reviews. Let's see if I can actually survive 650 more. So if you'll excuse me, I've got a lynching at the hanging tree to take part in, and got to get a few more bottles of this. So see you guys later, and bye bye. Bye. Utter knob.